Hello, everybody. I have to say something regarding this specific subject that has been going on for over 10 years. Ever since 2015 and before Trump took office, the Me Too movement was ignited. The Me Too movement, for anyone who doesn't know or still is lack of education wise, originally is the sexual harassment and rape in the workplace movement. Unfortunately, in the last 5+ years, it has now become the everything and everyone offends the movement. I used to support the Me Too movement originally until it became, or it went too far originally, and now it's gone full clitoris mode because of this specific state senator in Mississippi who actually wants this law for men, all men in Mississippi. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to somehow say this right now, not just as a man, not just as a minority, and not just as a disabled man, but as an American man. To all feminazis, not feminists, feminazis, there's a difference. One supports men equally, the other degrades them entirely. Feminazis degrade men entirely. Feminazis, which a lot of people think it's a Nazi, which it isn't. I understand about Rush Limbaugh. I don't care about Rush Limbaugh. I don't care about him at all. Rest in peace regardless, but I don't give a rat's behind about what he did or what he says. A feminazi is a woman, normally, not always, or a person that hates men, degrades men, and thinks women should be above men entirely. A feminist is a person who somehow wants, normally a female, who wants men entirely. Equal rights, equal fights, equal punishment when committing a crime, the same crime a man does, the same way a man does, but the same penalties and actions when they do something inappropriate, wrong, or whatever. Just because something is inappropriate or to what you think is inappropriate does not mean it's illegal. Speaking of which, abortion is a sin in the Bible. Is it illegal in all around the nation? Depending on the state you're in. That's a different prerogative. Separation of church and state. Just because it may be a sin in the Bible does not mean it's against the law in the entire country or the entire state. Another example is wishing someone death. It may not be a sin in the Bible, but it is a sin in the Bible, but it's not against the law. If someone says to me, or if I say to someone, I hope you die, it's not illegal. Now, if I was to say I will kill you to someone, that's a different story. And if I was to do the procedure, that's a different ballgame. That's not what I wanted to bring up, though. This is something else I wanted to bring up in the state of Mississippi, which leads to this garbage. So before I get to the video, this is regarding a state senator that wants this in law in the state of Mississippi, that wants to make men with erections in public arrested for having an erection, just a plain erection. Before I get to the video, imagine if a woman was going on her Shark Week, aka her period, in public, and she went Shark Week, or is pregnant with a baby for 9 months straight. So should that be illegal too? So it's okay for a woman to be pregnant for 9 months, but if a guy has an erection, whether obvious or not, that lasts longer than 20 minutes, give or take, oh, it's a big deal. You feminazis, or should I say men haters, have gone full clitoris mode on this disgusting garbage, and yet you people demand respect? This is why you don't get respect. Nobody does. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, blue, green, polka dotted, trans, Asian, Hispanic, white, black, from the sky, from the ocean, from the sea, whatever letter of the alphabet of the homosexuality rainbow. You don't get respect because you automatically deserve it. You get respect because you earn it. Imagine if I was to use my disability or even my my race as an excuse to get what I want. Do you know how many people would say, I told you, he's the guy that does it? But yet you somehow demand respect to use their pronouns, specific pronouns, and yet somehow you want respect because you demand respect because you're transgender or black or Asian or a woman or whatever. No, you don't get respect for that. You know, if I was to say, you better respect me because I'm autistic, you know how many people would say, F you, or that's not how you get respect? Why should I respect you? Go yourself. How is that any different for trans? Oh, but it's different. It's not the same. Well, yeah, it's not the same. But it's not the same thing if you want demanding respect. And for your pronouns, that ain't gonna fly. You know what my pronouns are? F you. So you should respect my pronouns. So use F or you for my pronouns. Before we continue and go any further than this, let's get to the video. Because this right here just... This state senator, I'm going to say this to you, to this guy, whoever. Hold on a sec.
Enact, Senator
Bradford Blackman. Before I get to this wonderful video that I hope to God this will grill your behind for what you are about to somehow do, I have a special shout out to the Officer Tatum on YouTube. This is your YouTube video. I'm not selling it. I'm not promoting it. This all rights belong to you, sir. And I thank you for what you've been doing on your YouTube video on every stinking time. Now, I may not agree with everything you say, but you got a lot of things I do agree with you on. So, be Officer Tatum, wherever you are, man. Hope you're doing well. And congrats. Hope your wife's doing well as well, and your kids and everything. Keep doing what you're doing. But for everybody else, let's get to this video. Because Bradford Blackman, I have a special message for you. I have a woman who would you love to somehow be your match. This woman would love to have you as her husband. We'll get to that story later.
Bradford Blackman. He's a state senator of Mississippi, and he just introduced the best possible bill to enact the Contraception Begins at Erection Act.
What? What the f? People will do anything to give women a pass on being promiscuous.
But hold on. This ain't no longer coming out of my mouth now. Let's continue, everybody.
Well, so make sure you visit TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Mississippi lawmaker wants there to be a prohibition against, or it to be prohibited for people to masturbate.
What's wrong with you?
Now, this is not even in the Bible. So then you have to say, why is this man doing it? Why is this chucking and
That's the guy,
jiving?
everybody.
And it always got to be somebody. Why black people got to? It ain't always black people. White people do the same stuff.
That ain't coming out of my mouth.
It wasn't a black man. Why you got to be so silly and simpish? Wait till he explain. I hope in this clip he explain why he's doing this. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Trying to put a ban on somebody, you know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Somebody, yeah, you know what I mean? To put a ban on that is insane. What's somebody gonna do? Tell you? Call the police. Hey, bro. Woo! It was a long night. I had 3 of them. I gotta go to jail tonight. You say doing it without the intent to conceive. Who said you don't have consent? I mean, who said you didn't have consent or the intent to conceive?
Thank
you.
you.
Who said you didn't have the intent? I think you could. Who gonna debate that? You laying up with some girl and you, I had all intents and purposes to get her pregnant, and they didn't because they got the Afghanistan Joe Biden gang going on. If y'all
Okay,
know what
moving
I mean.
on that part.
Roll the clip.
Idea came to me sometime last summer when I think it was somewhere in Texas. There was a bill that was going to make it punishable for jail time for someone assisting someone get an abortion. Like not the doctor, but like if you drove them somewhere, you could be arrested in jail. And I was like, this is outrageous. And then it just popped in my head, well, what if we decide we want to regulate men? How would that reaction be? And I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, go for it. See what happens. And my dad said, hey, it might be like a first in the nation. You might get some publicity out of it. And then the cascading effect happened, and he was like, this was nowhere near what I thought was going to go on with this. And it's the same for me. I knew it would ruffle some feathers. I thought here in Mississippi, I didn't think it was going to be Texas, California, South Dakota, Minnesota.
The look on Tatum's face. I can't even imagine what my looks are going to feel like after this video.
There's nothing in there that says that the police are going to run up in your house. The only way you would get in trouble is to tell on yourself. That's literally the only way you would get in trouble is if you did it, went to the police and was like, hey, I got something to confess.
Wow.
It's so dumb. People will do anything to give women a pass on being promiscuous. If you wanted to make a
remember who said that, not me.
ban on, I guess they're saying reproduction, then you say if a woman lay up and let Big Tony get on top of her and she has no intent to have children, then she get punished. That would be equal to equal. But let me just propose something else to you, since these people want to be silly. It's very simple. Before I get to that, I want to play the other clip. I mean, he knew, so don't worry about it. He's doing a great job. But I want to play the clip of this young woman, and I think it's maybe her and some others who are saying that they agree with this. And I haven't seen this clip yet, but I bet you it's all women or feckless men. One of the two. Roll the clip.
I just love around and find out phase of all this. I just love it. I need you to meet Senator Bradford Blackman. He's a state senator of Mississippi, and he just introduced the best possible bill I have ever seen. Mississippi Legislature 2025 regular session. Senate Bill 2319. Y'all are not ready. An act to enact the Contraception Begins at Erection Act. I'm going to say that again. The Contraception Begins at Erection Act. To define terms, to provide that it shall be unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo, to provide for criminal penalties, to provide certain exceptions, and for related purposes, be enacted by the legislature of the state of Mississippi. Section 1. The section shall be known and may be cited as the Contraception Begins at Erection Act. 2. It shall be unlawful.
All right, I
for
can't
a
do it
person
no more.
to...
I can't do it.
I agree.
Tell me you ain't getting none without telling me you ain't getting none.
Oh!
That's ain't nobody.
That ain't coming out of my mouth.
And even when you're drunk, you ain't doing that one. That girl is a mess.
Oh.
Anyway, let's just put...
I don't know what's more funny. That Tatum burned and grilled this girl with the most innocent way possible without him saying anything stupid, or the voice of that lesbian woman, which it is, or she is, about a bill that she gets triggered on someone getting an erection in the middle of public. And I agree on this. Imagine if a woman who had her Shark Week or period or whatever they call it now these days, and she had it in public, and she got arrested for having a period, or having a woman having a baby for 9 months straight in her complete belly. Oh, but that's different, Alex. That's different. No, it ain't. So you're triggered on a man having an erection more than 20 minutes, give or take, when a woman gets her Shark Week every month, and or gets pregnant, has a baby 9 months in her belly. Oh, but that's different? That's not the same? Well, that's nature. That's natural. And if you're triggered on an erection, why don't you stop looking at it? After all, it may be obvious, but you don't gotta look at it. The guy with an erection is not raping someone. He's not getting involved. He's not doing anything stupid. Having an erection is perfectly natural. Like you having your Shark Week, women. Like you having a baby for 9 months straight in your belly. Yeah. Why don't you use the head you should use and not the head you don't know how to function with? And continuing on, I have a special message for you. To that state senator, whatever I can't even remember his name now because it's been so disgusting already. Yeah, I can't even remember his name because it's been so. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, Bradford Blackman, state senator in Mississippi. I have a special message for you. Your parents. I couldn't imagine how laughable Tatum was thinking this, or the officer Tatum was thinking. Now I want to show you, Bradford Blackman, I have a special woman I would love for you to meet because she would be glorified to meet you. You probably would have a baby and have a trans baby as well, and maybe even have a they-them baby. So, off the point, not saying it's going to happen, don't get me wrong. That's a different story. But I want to show you this state senator because you would love this woman. And she's a state senator here in my home state. So if you don't know this story, I'd be glad to show you. And she would love you. And however you would love her. Here we go.
Mr. President, trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people.
And before we start, remember that, everybody. This is a state senator from Nebraska. This was 2 years ago. Or was it last year? I don't remember. But let's keep going.
Well, that's what they're saying out there. They're standing in a circle in the rotunda saying that over and over again.
Get ready, everybody. This is a real
Trans
story
people belong here.
in the middle of
We
this
need trans people.
meeting
We
in
love
state
trans
of
people.
Nebraska.
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people.
Hold on, it gets worse. Trust
Trans
me.
people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
I told you I
We
wasn't
love
joking.
Trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans
Oh
people.
my.
We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We
Wow.
need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here.
I didn't think
We
it was still
need
going
trans
on.
people. We love trans people. You matter.
That right there, everybody, is literally 2 minutes and 39 seconds before she finally said, "You matter." Mississippi, and to state senator Bradford Blackman, that is your match. That's your woman. She would love to meet you. Your legislature, her legislature. Are you with her? Or are you too stupid to know what a man's body is, what a woman's body is, and what a trans person really isn't? I don't care what you do with your life, whether you're lesbian, gay, bi, trans, whatever letter of the alphabet, or neither. Men are men, women are women, trans are neither. I don't care if someone is trans. I don't care if someone is gay or lesbian or whatever, black, white, blue, green, whatever. You want to live to be trans? You want to live your life to be trans? Go ahead, be trans. But if you're going to have me respect someone because they are trans, or because they are a woman, or because they are white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Native, Middle Eastern, or whatever, what about the people who you don't give a rat's behind about, Nebraska included? Like Mississippi, which is much worse, don't get me wrong. Nebraska is not any better. So anyone says to Nebraska nice, that's pure hogwash. That's like saying Boston strong, LA love, same garbage with Nebraska nice. Nebraska nice. Trust me, it ain't nice. It's more like Nebraska fake nice. And it isn't just Nebraska either. Utah, Minnesota. Yeah, pure hogwash. So, to all women, you want, sorry to Mississippi, God forbid this happens. Like Mississippi, like Nebraska, Republican state, Democratic state senator, Democratic state senator. Byron Blackman, this is your match. And for everybody, if this was to go to law, I am sorry to the state of Mississippi. As a Nebraskan, I feel your pain like you just watched someone like this. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Welcome to the 5th of February. And even for this law, I plead the 5th. 5th. Good night, everybody. And may God bless America. We're screwed.